Game of Thrones, one moment rises above all others for its brutality and its betrayal. The Red Wedding, the image of a guest butchered beneath a host's roof, music turning into screams. It burns itself into your memory. But what if that nightmare wasn't born from a writer's imagination at all? What if it came straight out of real history, moments when the sacred rules of hospitality weren't just broken, they were weaponized? Today, we trace the Red Wedding back to its true terrifying origins. In the story, the Starks and Lannisters are locked in war. Robb Stark, the king in the north, accepts a fragile peace with Lord Walder Frey. He enters the Frey's stronghold, the twins, as a guest. He eats their bread and salt, an ancient gesture of protection. By every law in their world, he is untouchable. But it is all a lie. The cheerful feast is a mask. The moment the musicians strike up the reins of Castamere, everything changes. The doors slam shut. Crossbows appear from the shadows. Walder Frey's men tear into the Stark soldiers. Catelyn Stark watches her son murdered in front of her before she too is killed. To viewers, it felt like a unique atrocity, but 15th century Scotland had already lived it. The year is 1440. Scotland is under the rule of a young King James II. The powerful Black Douglas clan threatens the crown. To deal with them, the teenage Earl of Douglas, just 16, and his younger brother are invited to Edinburgh Castle. They're offered safe passage, welcomed, fed like honored guests. But then the entire mood changes. According to legend, a black bull's head, symbol of death, is slammed onto the table. Moments later, soldiers rush in. The boys are dragged outside, given a mock trial, and executed. This came to be known as the Black Dinner, a young lord, a false invitation, a feast turned into an ambush. The blueprint for the Red Wedding was already there. But George R.R. Martin didn't stop with one historical betrayal. He reached further, into an even more chilling moment 2 centuries later. In 1692, in the valley of Glencoe, lived the MacDonald clan. They were required to swear loyalty to the new king. They did, just a few days late. It didn't matter. A company of soldiers led by Captain Robert Campbell arrived at their homes. For nearly 2 weeks, the Campbells lived as guests of the MacDonalds. They shared their food, their fire, their whiskey. Trust began to grow. Then the secret royal order arrived. Put all to the sword under 70. Before dawn on February 13th, the Campbells rose from the beds offered to them and murdered their hosts. 38 MacDonalds were killed in their homes, or while fleeing into a blizzard. Many more died from the cold. This was the Massacre of Glencoe, an act so vile because it violated one of the Highlands' holiest laws, the absolute safety of a guest in your home. So when we break down the Red Wedding, we can see how history shaped it. From the Black Dinner, a feast offered as peace, a young noble house betrayed, murder under false hospitality. From the Massacre of Glencoe, days of trust, then sudden violence, killers sleeping under the same roof as their victims, the intimate cruelty of turning on your hosts. Martin merged these horrors into one scene. The Red Wedding wasn't fantasy at all. It was a fusion of two real tragedies that scarred Scotland's history. The truth is simple. The darkest stories in fiction are often reflections of things humanity has already done. This has been our journey into the real events behind one of television's most shocking moments. If you want more history hiding behind myth and fiction, make sure to subscribe. The past is full of stories far stranger and far more terrifying than anything we imagine.